Wonderful meal we had this evening, and well, for those of you parents, us teachers, we had an incredible meal today at our schools. We had our Turkey Thanksgiving Day. Wow. I got to start early. Well, all of this wouldn't be possible without me saying thank you to a lot of sponsors here. So we wouldn't have the opportunity to honor our teachers as we do without the generous support of our Crystal Apple sponsors. These are the business and community members that help us make this event a success each year. If you're a representative of one of the sponsors, please stand to be recognized when you're called. Our presenting sponsor, Boers Law. Our technology sponsor, Cox Communications. Our gold sponsors, the Clarion Inn, Black Hills Energy, Fry Eye Associates, High Plains Orthodontics, and Wheatland Electric, Wheatland Broadband. Our silver sponsor, the Garden City Telegram. Our bronze sponsors, American State Bank, Golden Plains Credit Union, and Reeve Cattle Company. Our crystal sponsors, Garden City Public Schools Foundation, Gibson, Mancini, Carmichael, and Nelson. Our Friend of Education donors, Shepner's Water Conditioning. As I previously mentioned, this year's presenting sponsor is Boers Law. I would now like to invite Laura Blake Boers to the podium to provide her insight on the Crystal Apple Awards and the dedication of our local teachers. Laura?
Thank you, Shelby. Good evening, and again, welcome to the 2018 Crystal Apple Awards. It is truly an honor to be the presenting sponsor for such an incredible event. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce some special guests here this evening. First, Reed Petty with Senator Moran's office. We appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to help us celebrate our teachers. And as we are celebrating American Education Week and honoring 6 very special teachers, I would also like to take the liberty and express my appreciation and gratitude for an individual who has been a teacher and mentor to me. He is also a very good friend of education in Topeka, Representative John Wheeler. You worried me there for a second. Thank you for coming. The past few years have been particularly difficult for educators in Kansas. I'm not sure I have seen a profession more questioned or vilified than our educators, which is saying a lot because I'm a lawyer. But one person has truly stood out since he has taken his current position and acted as a champion for our teachers. So much so that he may have hijacked the governor's plane last year to be here. And I understand he's driven the approximately 5,000 miles or so it takes to get from Topeka to western Kansas. Commissioner of Education, Randy Watson. Thank you for making the trek out here to help us celebrate our teachers. We're pretty partial to them. And I'm looking forward to the leadership of our State Board of Education Representative-elect, Jean Clifford. Best of luck to you, Jean, in your new role. You will be truly missed on the Garden City Board. Finally, I have a group of people that I would like to recognize each year. Our 6 finalists did not get here on their own. They have parents who probably threatened them with an inch of their life if they did not get their homework done. Spouses anxiously awaiting the lesson plans to be completed. Children who constantly patiently wait while their parent-teacher grades papers. If you are a member of one of the support systems for one of our 6 finalists, please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your contribution to the education of Finney County kids. The last few years, I have argued, cajoled, and done whatever I could to try to convince the superintendents of USD 457 and 363 to consider this event for in-service time, a PLC meeting, or release time. Last year, I thought I hit a home run. I had the Commissioner of Education help me in my speech. Our current State Board of Education representative, Sally Cobble, also helped me out. And what did I get? Good try. No. Okay, I know when to admit defeat, sometimes. So I thought I would try a different tactic this evening. I actually did some homework and research. William Arthur Ward stated, "The mediocre teacher tells, the great teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires." And the 6 we have here today have truly inspired their students. I have been fortunate to have a front row view of some of their work, from learning a new jazz or Christmas song, hoping the clarinets don't squeak, building the latest and greatest VEX robot, and programming anything and everything, teaching the difference between right, left, stage right, stage left, and the importance of not upstaging your co-star, allowing students to work hands-on with different projects ranging from conservation to hanging out with zoo animals, listening and spending time with kids to make sure they know they count as well as their classroom vote, or having organized chaos in their room to allow for structure and creativity leading to student growth. Yes, I did read some of your applications. I also conducted a very scientific study in preparation for today as well. So fast forward a few years, and I believe many of your students would say similar things as was posted on my Facebook page when I asked, what would you tell the teacher who had the biggest impact on your life? One person said, "Thank you for recognizing early that I loved words and writing and giving me confidence that I was good at something. Thank you for encouraging me to be who I am and not who others think I should be. Thank you for telling me I should major in political science, go to Georgetown, and making me believe I could become the first woman president. And the most accurate statement of them all, you were right." Teachers, I hope that when you look around tonight, you realize that you are not alone in your classroom. The community stands behind you and supports you in all of your endeavors. While there will only be 3 winners named tonight, in reality, there are thousands, the students of Finney County. Best of luck to you, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. By the way, I'm going to help you out with the staff development stuff because I serve on the PDC council. Here it comes. Well, I'd like to also offer some special recognitions and introductions this evening. Also joining us are several distinguished guests and board members from our local school districts. Dr. Randy Watson, I'd like to introduce you again, our Kansas Commissioner of Education. Thank you for being with us this evening. Also representing Senator Jerry Moran's office, Mr. Reed Petty. I'd like to thank you for being here. Representative John Wheeler, thank you for coming back. I remember you with us a year ago. And also from the City of Garden City, Mayor Roy Cessna. And County Commissioner, Dr. Bill Clifford. Thank you, John. From Garden City USD 457 Board of Education members, Laura Blake Bors. And Kansas Board of Education-elect, Gene Clifford. Also representing Garden City USD 457, Superintendent Dr. Steve Carlin. Deputy Superintendent Heath Hogan. Assistant Superintendent Renee Scott. Director of Special Education Glenda LeBarbera. I would also like to mention that to our Crystal Apple finalists, we would like to send a special thank you to the individual schools for providing the wonderful table decorations in support of their Crystal Apple teacher finalists. And now, it is my honor to introduce to you our 6 finalists for tonight's Crystal Apple Awards. Please hold your applause until all have been announced. And when I call your name, Crystal Apple finalists, would you please stand? Alana Bates Aronson from Horsegood Middle School. Felch Haney from A. Hubert Elementary School. Sarah Harris from Victor Ornelas Elementary School. Barbara Hilt from Garden City High School. Sarah Dravinsky from Charles O. Stone's Intermediate Center. And Violet Dubois from Horsegood and Kenneth Henderson Middle School. Hey, how about a round of applause? This is the 23rd year of the Chamber's Crystal Apple Awards. Over the years, we have recognized many outstanding educators from Finney County. If you are a previous Crystal Apple Award winner, please stand to be recognized. A complete list of all of our past winners can be found also in your program. Well, it's now for me time to kind of give you a rundown of what it takes to get to where these people are at. Kind of an overview, if you will, of the process. Well, it all starts with a nomination. Our people can be nominated by a faculty member, by a parent, by a student, by anybody in our community. Once the nominations come in, then they have filled out an application. Our Crystal Apple teachers have filled out an application, and it's pretty extensive to fill out. It doesn't take just a few seconds and you're done. It's not one of those radio checkbox kind of things. Back in my day, before computers, we had to do it on a typewriter. And we were given an 8x14 paper and we couldn't go to the back. Okay, so it's a pretty serious process. These applications will go through a blind read by a committee. And after they have went through those, we start narrowing the field down, and then becomes, I still have nightmares about this one, the interviews. There's a group of people, 3, 4, 5, in a dimly lit room, and you walk in. I'm not kidding. Mine was in the Bronchbuster room at Garden City Community College. If you've been in there, it's a long walk across that room, and they had all the lights turned off. And I walk up to 5 people, there's a table and a chair for me to sit in. So I start to sit down, and they go, "We didn't tell you to sit in." So I stood for the next long time and answered questions. Well, from there, we get to our final 6, and we go to the classroom observations. And I can say this, anything can happen when they walk in. Really can. Really can. Last year we had a tornado drill, I believe, Mrs. Tedrow, you got to be a part of. You know, and I don't know what else to say with that, but if it can go wrong, it probably will. It did, and I'm still up here. As you can see, this is a very meticulous process, which takes dedication from community members who serve on 3 different committees. I'm going to list the people that served on those committees. When I call your name, if you are here, would you please stand? Lee Barrett from State Farm Insurance. Joanne Booker from St. Catherine Hospital. Debbie Reynolds from Spirit of the Plains CASA. Angie Price, a retired educator in both Holcomb and Garden City school districts. Brenda Reeve from Reeve Cattle Company. Donna Tanner from Commerce Bank. Kathy Deal from American State Bank. Ashley Freeberg from the City of Garden City. Beth Tedrow, retired educator at Garden City Community College. How about a round of applause? When I retire from teaching someday, Beth, I'm going to join you on that committee. We would also like to take a moment here to recognize the chair of the Crystal Apple Committee, Roy Sesson. For the past 15 years, Roy has worked with the Chamber to help organize the Crystal Apple program. His commitment to the program has been instrumental to the program's success, and we sincerely appreciate his dedication to helping us recognize educators in our community. Roy, would you come up here, please?
Oh no, you're right here.
Oh,
Roy would like to present you this award of recognition.
oh my God.
And to thank you for all you do. Thank you, Roy.
I was in my office today and I said, well, what do they get when they get a red apple? And he goes, you get that when you die. And I'm like, oh. It's like getting home.
Yeah. Well, the whole conversation started, you know, we give the teachers crystal apples for the Crystal Apple Teacher Award. For USD 457, if you retire, you get a gold apple. And then she goes, what happens if you get a red apple? And it's like, well, you die. And she pulls this out, and it's like, are you trying to tell me something or what? So, thank you very much.
I would like to introduce the 4 students from Garden City High School broadcasting class who prepared some special videos honoring each teacher and their students. When I call your name, would you please stand? Raquel Garcia, Crystal Arroyo, Katie Chandler, and Megan Cady. Well, now we're going to get an opportunity to see their work. They'll be presented up here on the screen, and a very special introduction of each one of our 4 Crystal Apple recipients.
I started teaching in the fall of 2008 when I student taught, and then after I finished student teaching, I got hired as a long-term sub in that same building for the spring of 2009, at which point I then took a job here in the summer of 2009 and moved here in July. So my first year in Garden City was 2009, first day of kindergarten. I came home and I told my dad that I was going to be a teacher, but I had to be a rock star first. And he said, okay, whatever. And I had lots of other things I thought about doing, but I always came back to teaching.
My first impression of Lainey Bates as a teacher was someone that truly enjoys teaching. She has a passion for it. She also has an ability to plan lessons that stimulate her students' thinking and their comprehension in her classroom.
She's kind, and like if we need help, then she like tells us to come in after school or like in the morning, and like if we don't understand something, then she comes to our desk, or like she helps us. And like if we're doing good, she like emails our parents and like type of stuff like that. And like if we need help with something, she emails our parents like telling them that we need to read more at home.
In my opinion, what what I really think that distinguishes Lainey as a good teacher is her interest that she shows toward her students' individual growth from the beginning of the semester to the last day in her classroom.
Getting to watch you guys grow up and grow into these amazing citizens of both Garden City and the world, and knowing that I get to know you for 9 months of that journey, but then I get to be involved in your life for the rest of the way. Watching students grow into the people they become is so cool.
I believe Lainey's ability to see herself as a lifelong learner is something that makes her very unique. She has continued her education with earning a master's degree. She has also taught at the high school level. She's taught at the junior college level. And she shows interest in other curriculum areas such as science, where she has been one of our founding members and teachers that started the Science Olympiad here at Horace Good. So her passion for learning is contagious, not just to her students, but also to other peers.
I have been teaching for 6 years. I taught 4 years of science, and I'm in my 2nd year of teaching special education.
Don't, Miss Welsh, get 1.
1. You guys want me to live here, and I go up to some. We're all tied up, aren't we?
Yes.
I realized I wanted to become a teacher when I was working as a truancy officer up at the Garden City High School. I did that for several years, and during that time I realized I wanted to become a teacher so I could better help students. Now, we're looking for our eyes. Do you see any more eyes?
It has a new bear.
Okay, 3 more times.
I think she's a good teacher because it's obvious that she loves kids. The things that she does for her kids, her ability to really go out of what her expectations are and go above and beyond for her kids.
Pretty. Abigail is pretty with the shiny band and shiny stars. Pretty. Much better. Good job today. You need a heart to match your stars.
I think she's unique just because she's so creative with her ideas and with the things that she does for kids. The lessons that she comes up with are different. The supports and the things that she does for not only for the kids but for the teachers in the classrooms makes her unique.
I do. The best thing is when you have a student and they're working on figuring something out or learning something and they're having trouble and they just keep going, and you try it this way and then you try it a different way and they're frustrated but they power through it, and when they have that aha moment and it finally after all that work comes together for them, that's the best part.
I've been teaching for 7 years, and all of those years here at Victor & Alice.
Different levels of learning, and that's okay. We're all supposed to be learning at different levels.
I always had a passion to work with kids from even the time I was little, and I wasn't really sure how that would translate into a profession. And so when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to go and observe in a 4th grade class for a whole semester. And that's really what ignited my spark for teaching, was having that time in the classroom to get to know those students and the kids in there and know this really is what my passion is. I really wanted an opportunity to go wherever God was leading me, and so I went to a job fair in Michigan, and that brought me to Garden. Garden was the first booth that I went to and talked to Josh Guyman, actually, and so that led me out to Garden, and I've been here ever since.
I'm gonna put 3 of them in the that's all right. What is it?
It's on your page, Johanna. What is the total?
I think the best thing about being a teacher is my students. Every year I try to build a relationship with my students and create a classroom community where we really work hard together as a team. And so that involves their voices are included, and so they have a say in kind of what we do and when we do it. And I find that to be very important and rewarding part of my job.
My favorite part about school is when we're with Miss Harris in the classroom. We get to work in groups and share our work. she's really nice, and when I'm having some trouble with my math or anything that she teaches me, she's always there to help me and make me understand it better. I know she's always there for me.
I've stayed in Garden City because of the community of Garden City. It's so welcoming to all cultures, all communities, all religions, that it's just a great place for me to live and to teach, because I know I have the families there that are going to be backing me up in my teaching, and I wouldn't want to leave.
I've been teaching for 7 years. All 7 years have been at Garden City. Before that, I student taught, and also I ran a forensics program at high school in Frontenac, Kansas. And before that, I assisted my sister, Alice Hilt, with her forensics program at St. Mary's Colgan in Pittsburgh, Kansas. I love teaching my classes and seeing students make discoveries about, like today in my intro to theater class, we're working on Everyman, which is essentially the story of Pippin. So as I'm working on Pippin, we're talking about medieval theater in my intro classes, and they're rewriting plays. And so I had several groups who were writing today say something like, so this is kind of the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, right? Like, a ghosts come and visit him, and then he makes a change in his life from being a Scrooge to being this nice, generous person. And I was like, yes, and that's essentially the story of Pippin. And then all of them found different ways that they could relate to that story, and then they sort of had epiphanies of like, oh, this is like this movie, this is like The Grinch, this is like, and all at separate times. And so that's always the most, I think that's for every teacher, is the most rewarding part of your job, when you see students react and sort of like a light bulb comes on of like, oh, and this applies to my life like this.
Set! Lights! Costumes! Match! And everyone has to say magic.
Only a few teachers that I know that are willing to do anything for the students, and she does so much. She's always here on the weekends working on plays and musicals on the set, coordinating the lights. Everything she does, she puts so much heart into it, and it's something that I and other students truly appreciate.
Pippin showed remarkable persistence. When one thing failed, he tried another, and we're spotting Catherine for that. Well, you could use a spotlight, but you have to decide what you want it to look like. So this is
what makes Barb such a good teacher. She's very caring. She sees something wrong, she'll tell you. And that's, again, only because she cares and she wants the best for you. And not a lot of teachers are like that.
I'd always wanted to be a teacher. When I was younger, we used to play school. I taught my brother how to ride a bike. I used to always read to my little brother and sister. But then when I went to high school, I didn't have the best high school experience. So then once I went to college, I kind of wanted to get away from that. I got a journalism degree. Then after that, it was right in the middle of the economic recession, and I couldn't find a job, so I decided to go back to what I originally wanted to do, which was education, and the difference was immediately clear. I enjoyed my classes much more. I did extracurricular work. I helped out students from ages, pre-K all the way up to college students who needed extra help tutoring, and it felt right. I love that we just have so many different kids from so many different places. You can talk to kids and know that they've come from a place, maybe even like a refugee camp with some kids, and now they're in a school where they get to use a 3D printer and iPads in every single class. And they have all this technology, and it's stuff they probably had never even thought about when they were growing up. So I think that's great. I also just like the opportunities around here. I get to start my own robotics club. I'd only been teaching for I think 2 months, and I went to the principal and asked, could I start one? And she said yeah. So it's just cool that we get funding for a bunch of different things, and everything's really supportive around here.
6 times 3. Is it like 18, okay? But what do you think I need to do with this one?
One of the things that I've learned is just how to think through things from the kid's perspective, and then remember what it was like to be a kid. As an adult, you see these things, it's just like, why are you worrying about that? It doesn't matter. But when you remember how you thought about the world back then, you didn't have any experiences to pull from, so everything felt like the end of the world, or everything felt the most exciting, because you just don't have those experiences. So getting to think about the things that are happening to the kids from their perspective has been really nice. Getting to know them too and seeing them grow. I get to have 5th grade students and then keep the same kids for 6th grade after that. So you can see the growth. Kids that maybe were shy the first year might be leaders in the class the next year. I had one student very quiet, couldn't get him to say anything. By the next year, everybody's calling him Math God because he always knew the correct answer and he would raise his hand for everything. So just seeing those changes is one of my favorite things.
Keep this up, okay? Because I want to really look at this while we're... Huh?
What kind of Pokemon?
Pokemon Go.
I started teaching in 2011, so I'm just starting my 8th year. When I realized I wanted to become a teacher was when I was pretty little. I really liked to play school at home, and I liked to tell my little sister what to do all the time. But I always knew that having the educators I did, that I wanted to make a difference like they made a difference in my life. And music has always been a part of who I am, and it's always been a passion, so I thought, why not put the two together? And it's been an awesome journey.
Well, my first impression of Violet as a teacher is someone who showed extreme passion for the role of a teacher, and how well she connects with her students in her classroom. She engages them in tasks and challenges them each and every day to become better with their instrument. She finds ways for them to persevere through those struggles and to find not just individual but also group success.
What makes Miss Dubois teachers, like, she's always upfront and honest with us, and like she helps us when we need help, and like if we ever like need something, like even if it's like a personal problem, she'll help us with that too. Like, she's just very helpful.
One of my proudest moments as a teacher, there's been so many, but it's really to see the growth between the 7th and 8th grade year that I have them and get to experience how much they learn over the amount of time that they're with me. And I just see them succeed constantly and not only grow as musicians, but grow as people.
She helped me by, like, if like I don't know, she'll make us go over it over again and again until we get it. And like, if we want, sometimes she makes us go into sectionals to help us out.
The thing that motivates me to keep on teaching is probably the relationships I have with the students. I get to know them, not just student-teacher, but really know who they are as people and grow and build relationships with them along the way and really invest in who they are as people.
The number one thing that I think that makes Violet a very successful teacher and a mentor is her ability to build positive relationships. She also shows a very genuine interest in seeing that every one of her students shows growth from the first day in her band classroom to the last day.
2, 3, 4.
Hey, how about a round of applause for those broadcasting? A few moments ago, I forgot to recognize a board member, and I do apologize. Dana Naniga, would you please stand up? Board member, Garden City Public. Sitting over there at the side going, uh-oh. Well, Crystal Apple teachers, here we go. It's now time for me to start getting you up here with your principal. As I read your name, I'd like to invite the principals representing our teachers to the front. Each principal will give a very short introduction to introduce their teacher from the school they represent as their teacher Crystal Apple finalists. We're going to introduce our Crystal Apple finalists in alphabetical order. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Brad Springston from Horsegood Middle School.
Horsegood Middle School congratulates Lainey Bates Aronson on her Crystal Apple nominee. Congratulations.
From Charles O. Stone's Intermediate Center, Janet Smith. Janet.
It is my tremendous honor to congratulate Sarah Dubrinsky for being nominated from Charles Stone's. She's a wonderful teacher, so Sarah Dubrinsky.
And also from Horsegood and Kenneth Henderson Middle Schools, Mr. Brad Springston, would you come up, please?
Horsegood Middle School and Kenneth Henderson Middle School. Jared Stoffel, Principal Kenneth Henderson, is here. Congratulate and wish Violet Dubois best of luck.
From Victor Ornalis Elementary School, Principal Tracy Leifer.
On behalf of Victor Ornalis Elementary, we're very proud of Sarah Harris as she's become a leader in our community, and she has a big heart and cares for all of the community. We're very proud of you.
From Garden City High School, Dr. Roger Singh.
It is my great pleasure to introduce a very talented woman, Ms. Barb Hill, one of my favorites. Congratulations.
Dr. Singh, I'm also in your academy. I couldn't let it up. So. Evaluating my last year. I don't have to do anything. From Abe Hubert Elementary, Joshua Guyman.
Good evening. I am extremely honored to be here to represent Abe Hubert and recognize Dina Welch for her nomination for a Crystal Apple finalist. She's definitely deserving, and we are all super proud of her. Congratulations, Dina.
I just had knee surgery, and I'm not sure I can get down these steps without help. So I'm going to see this way first. Thank you. Oh, I gotta get a picture. Join us.
Well, the time is finally here for us to announce the 2018 Crystal Apple recipients. Now, we're going to have two separate awards presentations. The first presentation will be the announcement of the 3 Crystal Apple finalists, and the second presentation will recognize 3 Crystal Apple teachers for 2018. I would like to ask Sharon Bowman from the Garden City Telegram to step forward to present a $250 check to each of these 3 finalists. Framed certificates will be presented by Cecil Obrate on behalf of the Clarion Inn. Would you come forward, please? Our first finalist this evening is Deanna Welch-Haney. Our second finalist, Alana Bates Aronson. And our third finalist, Barbara Hilt from Garden City High School. Ladies, you represent the principles and dedication this award is meant to display. Thank you. Thank you very much. Better round. Well, here we go. I'd like to ask our presenters to step to the front to honor our Crystal Apple teachers with their awards. First off, Laura Boers from Boers Law will present each with a Crystal Apple. Kirby Haynes with Cox Communications will present each with an Apple iPad. And $1,000 checks will be given by Dennis Warbaugh of Black Hills Energy, Dr. William Clifford from Fry Eye Associates, and Dr. Timothy Hannigan of High Plains Orthodontics. Our three teachers over here have gone through an exhaustive process to earn the distinction of being named a 2018 Crystal Apple teacher. Sarah Drabinsky. Violet Dubois.
These two are my students.
And Sarah Harris. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our 2018 class of Crystal Apple Award winners. We're going to ask each Crystal Apple teacher now to provide a brief acceptance speech.
Brief.
We've talked about it. I never got to do this part. Oh. Sarah, please come forward.
Well, thanks. It really is an honor. My students all told me that they knew that I would win, but they are biased. The process made me really look back at the things that I'm most proud of about my teaching. And I know that the academics are great, and I know that my students do well every year, but it's how they grow as people that makes me the most excited for them. I do have kids who start out so shy and so downtrodden, and by the time they're in 6th grade, some of them are my group leaders now. And those are the kids that I'm just so proud of, seeing their confidence build more than anything else. I've had students where I go to see them in middle school and they're so excited to see me. Some of them I didn't even know they could yell as loud. So just seeing all that confidence building in them, it's really great, and this is such a great honor. Thank you.
Violet? Oh, Violet!
I didn't get the short memo, but don't worry. Oh my. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. This is an extremely special moment for me. I feel humbled, but at the same time, I feel honored and privileged to be here tonight. Looking around the room, I am surrounded by other amazing educators, and I value the importance of this Teacher Recognition Award celebration. I am grateful to Garden City Chamber of Commerce for this journey and opportunity. This process has been rewarding because it has allowed me to reflect on my own teaching journey, my teaching philosophy and values, and reminded me that teaching is a rewarding career that is not often recognized in this magnitude. I wouldn't be here tonight without the opportunities USD 457 has given me. My principals at Horace Good, Brad Springston, and Lucas Sullivan, and at Kenneth Henderson, Jared Stoppel, and Matt Beyer, have allowed and trusted me to build and grow my band program and supported every decision I've made. I couldn't have asked for a better administration, and I am proud to work for both middle schools in Garden City. I would also like to thank my friends, colleagues, former teachers, my mentor, Summer Miller, and others who have helped me in different capacities and empowered me to be the best version of myself. Specifically, my friend and coworker, Adriana Caro, for her continuous support and unwavering friendship. It goes without saying, my biggest fans are my family members. I was raised in a loving home who attended every sporting event, concert, and extracurricular activity from pre-K to present day. Even now in my teaching career, my parents and grandmother continue to attend my middle school band concerts and volleyball games. I know, cool, right? Without a doubt, I knew that I would find their faces in the audience. Hi, Mom. To my sister, Desiree, you've inspired me, challenged me, and continue to stand by me, helping me in more ways than you can imagine. My family has always been my biggest supporters and the reason I have the confidence to be the person I am today. Mom, Dad, thank you for who you are and everything you've done and continue to do for me. I love you. Finally, I know, I would like to point out that any time someone is recognized in a special way like this, the recognition must be shared with my principals, colleagues, staff at Horace Good, and Kenneth Henderson. It isn't just an honor for me, but it extends to all my students as well. The recognition goes way beyond me, and I am proud to be a Crystal Apple Award winner. Thank you so much.
Sarah?
First, I would like to thank the Chamber and all of the sponsors for supporting this recognition program. I am truly grateful to receive this honor. My journey to this moment began 7 years ago when I followed God's calling and left my small town in Michigan to come to Garden. My sister Brandy was daring enough to come with me, and our parents, Bob and Carrie, were faithful enough to let us go. My then principal, Heath Hogan, saw something in me that allowed me to take my next steps of faith to stay. Over the past 7 years, I have taken many faithful steps as I've rooted myself into this community. I have another principal now, Tracy Liker, who has allowed me to be innovative and to grow my capacity. I have grown closer with my coworkers. I have found a third grade squad who helps me to be creative and pushes me forward. I have a church family who supports my every steps. And finally, I have students who make it easy for me to get up every morning and go to work. So, I want to thank you for this recognition, and I can't wait to see where God leads my next steps. Thank you.
housekeeping before we end. The Chamber and the Crystal Apple Committee would like to ask each of our 6 finalists to remain for pictures at the end of our ceremony this evening. Tonight's event shines a spotlight on the very best educators in Finney County. These ladies bring dedication, enthusiasm, and professionalism to our classrooms every day. We hope your evening has been a most memorable one. We're just 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and we hope you all have plenty of things to be thankful for. Good evening, and thank you for coming.